with this new like focus or this new thing, comic books having my attention recently, I noticed that I struggled to meet my 2025 reading goal. This past December, I found myself needing to read 10 books to hit that 50. Whereas once I read more comics, I felt like if I was tracking all of the trades that I was reading, that it would overinflate my goal and I would be at like 100 out of 50 or whatever without a good grip on how many books I was reading. So that got me thinking about this year, and I have a few goals. Really, reading goal, I'm gonna keep it 50. I would love to read 50 books this year. There are 3 particular books that terrify me on my physical TBR, and I want to read them this year in 2026. Firstly, we've got The Odyssey. With the movie coming out, I want to read this. Next up, we've got Oathbound by Tracy Deonn, which is the most recent book in the Legendborn cycle, which is a growing series. I'm intimidated by big books, but I also know that it is not my best day to read something and then wait a year for the next installment of that story to come out. This is unfortunately a victim of that situation. I've got A Promised Land by Barack Obama. This may seem so incredibly random, but it really just pulls to me, and it has for a very long time been sitting on my TBR and staring me down. While I brush my teeth, it's looking at me. While I pick my next read, it's looking at me. When I go up and down the stairs in my house, he's looking at me. I think there's a correct time to read every book, and I think that the correct time to read this book might be now. As for collecting, I have a few goals. I've got issues 6 through, we're up to 23 of Ultimate Spider-Man, and 24 is coming out really soon and I'm really sad about it. It's gonna be hard, but I want to try to find 1 through 5. Like, I've picked these up slowly. I grabbed all of the Ultimate Spider-Man incursions, but was kind of under the impression that I should read the Ultimates before I go into these. And like, Ultimate Endgame is happening right now, and I'm grabbing those, but I'm not reading them because why would I read Endgame if I haven't read the Ultimates? So I think that reading the Ultimates, because Ultimate Spider-Man got me into this whole beautiful mess, would be a great goal. I'm currently collecting all of the Spectacular Spider-Man single issues, and while I've already been doing that, my goal right now is shifting into like a more intentional and targeted approach doing so. I've got about 60 issues on hand, and I would like to start getting my series like complete within itself. So I'm missing 101, 124, 186, 190, 194, 254, 256, 258. Those 8 issues are really easy gaps to close in what I'm looking for. Yeah, there are bigger stretches here and there, but I think that is a great starting point. Collecting and reading, like, it's like books. Like, it is 2 different hobbies. So now I have 4 different interconnected, very adjacent reading hobbies. Great.
Hi, Editing Taylor here. I can't make this video and not also point out that I would love to be consistent in utilizing my local library this year. That was something that was part of my goals last year, and it just became ingrained in my routine. And that is how I have found new comic books. I've felt the freedom to try different things that I don't necessarily want to like test out with my money in the comic book store. Like, a great example is I've been reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four run and having an absolute great time with it, trade by trade. And then like, that is a great way to read something and decide that you want the compendium of the story or whatever to like continue your reading with it. And so much of that goal, utilizing the library and like keeping it in my routine, is also about spending my money wisely, because like I said, reading is a hobby and collecting is a hobby, and both of these things can get really expensive. And I have found that I would so much rather have a shelf full of books that I love and I feel is like a personal library, and if my friends were to come over and they were to pick a book, they would take it home and they would say, I either love this or I understand why Taylor loves this. And I think that that is so important over just collecting books for the sake of collecting books and having a ton of books just to say that you technically have a library or whatever. Like, I want every book I own to be a book that I love. And then with comics, I love the fact that when you go to your comic book store and you pick up a single issue comic, that was likely made really recently in the grand timeline of things. And I think that it is so cool and so important to be supporting art that is very much in the moment. And we are in such a weird time that I expect great art to come out of this really weird time. Like, we're already seeing that with things that are just like blowing up the comic book world right now. And I want to keep being there, and I want to keep being consistent with that. And you will never catch me thinking I should spend less money on art. And that's how I feel about single issue comics, is like, I've really gotten into those this go around as an adult, getting back into comics and being able to like fund my hobby in a way where previously trades made the most sense. And I still love the reading experience of a trade, but I love the physical experience of walking into your comic book shop, saying hi to the people who work there, getting your pull list, browsing for something new, hunting in back issues. Like, there is so much fun to be had with like that tangible element of reading comics and being involved in your community there. I would love to keep supporting my local comic book shop, and I would love to keep supporting my local library, and I would love to keep supporting my local bookstore. And I think that there's a really good system and way that I can do all three of those things while also supporting my own collection. So with that, I hope you have a really good reading year, whether you're a person who makes goals or you just fly by the seat of your pants, because ultimately reading is a hobby. It's fun. It's an escape. Like, you don't have to say, I want to read 100 books this year. Like, you just get to read what you want to read, and that's the most important thing. And you just get to collect what you want to collect, and that is the most important thing. So whatever you're doing, I hope that you have a good year of it.